Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Norwalk Housing Authority regular meeting of February 17th, 2026. Officially call the meeting to order. Teresa, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, agency members Hernandez.
Here.
Ramirez.
Here.
Vice Chair Rios.
Here.
And Chair Perez.
Here. And we have the consent calendar. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll move it.
We have a roll call?
Sure. Agency member Hernandez.
Jane, item 69209.
Ramirez.
Aye.
Vice Chair Rios. Chair Perez.
Aye. And do we have a Community Development Director's report tonight?
No report.
And any oral communications for the Housing Authority meeting? All right, seeing that, we'll officially adjourn that meeting and give us a minute while we reset. All right. Good evening once again, everyone. We're going to call to order our Norwalk City Council meeting of February 17th. Tonight, we are honored to welcome once again April Reuter as our Invocation extraordinaire tonight. April is a longtime servant of Norwalk community and a leader of Pray Norwalk. She has faithfully served our city through building relationships and praying with local families. She shows dedication, and we truly appreciate her service. We are also honored tonight to welcome young Marine Sergeant Isaiah Estrada, who is an 11th grader, and he has served our Norwalk community for many, many years. As a young Marine Sergeant, Isaiah attributes his growth by serving as a young leader to our city. In his spare time, he enjoys maintaining a balanced lifestyle by training at the gym and going to Spartan races with his father. April and young Marine Sergeant Isaiah, please come forward to the front to lead us, and afterwards we invite you both to join us in a photo. Please stand, everyone.
All right, let's pray. Well, God, we just thank you for tonight. We thank you for your goodness, God. We thank you for all the great ways that you're moving in our city. Thank you for the opening of the walk with the construction there, God. We pray your blessing over that, your great success. And tonight, Lord, we call upon you for your wisdom for our city council members. God, I just pray, I pray, Lord, that you just download wisdom from heaven, God. We know that you do that. So I just pray your blessing over Mayor Perez and Councilmember Rios and Rick as well, and the others that aren't here, God. We just pray your wisdom. We pray unity on the essentials. We pray, Lord, just clarity on issues that need to be resolved. And Lord, we just ask that our city would stand out as a city that others want to copy, others want to look to for guidance. So God, we just pray your blessing tonight. Thank you for everyone here. And God, we just invite your presence here. Thank you for what you're going to do. So thank you, God, for your goodness. And we pray this all in Jesus' name.
Please put your right hands over your heart. Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States Republic, and one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Come in, Jean. Teresa, can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Ramirez,
Here.
Vice Mayor Rios,
Here.
Mayor Perez.
Here. Thank you. Arnold, can we have a closed session report?
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Members of the City Council, the record should reflect that the City Council, with all three members that are present tonight, were present in closed session. That prior to recessing into closed session, the three items that were listed on the agenda were announced for discussion, and the following is my report. On item number 2, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, there were actually only 2 matters presented to the City Council this evening. On both of those 2 matters, there was a presentation to the City Council, but there was no action taken and nothing further to be reported. On items 2 and 3 also, those items were presented to the City Council for discussion with the City Council. There was no action on either item 2 or 3, and there's nothing required to be reported at this time. Madam Mayor, that concludes my report from closed session. It's appropriate to continue with the open portion of the meeting.
Thank you so much, Arnold. We're moving on to our council comments. I'm going to start this evening and just want to once again officially welcome you all to our council meeting here in February. It's hard to believe that we are almost 2 months in to 2026, but a lot, as you know, is usually happening in the city, and the past couple of weeks are not different. I just want to start, and you'll see a video in just a minute, highlighting the walk and the groundbreaking ceremony that we had a few weeks ago. Change is coming. We've been talking about that for a very, very long time. Construction is messy. We understand that. And it may be a little different coming to City Hall, but I am confident that the end result is going to be something that you will not want to miss. So keep the dust away, dust it off as you come to City Hall. It'll be all right. We will make it through. And I'm just very excited to see what the walk is really going to bring to the city of Norwalk. I want to give a huge thank you to our partners in Prime Store for really bringing the groundbreaking and all that it encompassed, the special activities, the photos, the guests, the decor. It really was a great day for both Prime Store and the city of Norwalk. To our community development team, our public services team, our recreation team, our communications and public affairs, and public safety. Almost every single department had a hand in making the walk groundbreaking something very special. And we just focused on that. And I think there was a lot of excitement that started, and it's going to continue. So thank you to the entire team, Ozzy, Jesus, and to my colleagues. It was a great day for the city of Norwalk, and I'm very, very excited. I want to give a huge shout out to the Social Services Department for the project, the Angel Project and Thanksgiving Appreciation event that we just had. Our last council meeting, we acknowledged our sponsors, and we were able to get together, have some fun and games, and really thank them in true Norwalk fashion. I do want to alert our residents, the County Board of Supervisors last week held their regular Board of Supervisors meeting and voted in a 4-1 vote to add a potential sales tax measure for the County of LA only, a half-cent sales tax that'll be put on the ballot this coming year for all of LA County. It is going to go on the ballot, and I will do my best to share as much information as I can with our team so that we can make sure that our voters are informed. This is a sales tax that will be going directly to the county. For this one item, it was a 5-hour discussion. A lot was going on. So as we get additional information, I will make sure that we share as much as we can. I will share as much as I can with all of our residents so that you are informed once you get your ballot and you can make that decision on if you approve additional sales tax to you as you shop. I want to give a huge shout out to our recreation team, specifically tonight to our cultural arts. They have had so many activities on that side of the sports complex the past couple weeks, and I was able to partake in one on Friday, and we just had a great time. It really was fun, and I am always blown away by how our recreation staff and team really goes above and beyond. All of the events at the gallery for Black History Month and everything has been on point. So congratulations to our entire team. Tonight's shout out really goes out to the Cultural Arts Department. So thank you for everything. And I do have two people that I would really like us to remember and reflect on as we close tonight's meeting. The first one is Chaplain Benito Richard Garcia from the American Legion, who passed away on Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. He lived in Norwalk since 2003, and he is survived by his wife of 36 years, Lauren Kelly Garcia, 2 daughters, 1 son, and 2 stepsons. He was the chaplain here at the Norwalk Elks, Montebello Elks, and the Norwalk American Legion for over 20 years. He served in the Army Infantry and was a veteran of Vietnam. He worked for the betterment of all American Legion members and all veterans. Chaplain Garcia grew up in downtown Los Angeles, attending Belmont High School, East Los Angeles College, and UCLA. He was an X-ray technician for much of his life. And the celebration of life will be on Friday, March 13th, 2026 at 2 p.m. at the Norwalk American Legion Post 359. And I'd like to give this opportunity to Angelo Maldonado. Was there anything else you would like to add in regards to the celebration of life for Chaplain Garcia? If so, please come to the microphone.
Madam Mayor, thank you so much. Wonderful oratory on the life of Richard Garcia. I met him years ago, joined the Norwalk Elks. Kelly, at that time they were not living in the city of Norwalk, but we got them to buy into the residency here at Norwalk because we are the best veterans organization this side of the 605, and we're the best city this side of the 605. And we enjoy that, and we actually love that. You know, we've worked together for so many times. We worked at the Norwalk VFW. He wasn't the chaplain there. We had closed earlier. When he was at the La Mirada VFW, we worked for the betterment of veterans there as well, even though those aren't on his bio. But we have collaborated in so many different ways. And he just was a great soul. He was so nice. And you know, he liked to talk. He liked to talk about his family because he was just letting everybody know the history. We like to honor that, and we thank you very much for sharing him with us. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. And Kelly, we remember many, many times where he was here for the city and several of our Memorial Day and Veterans Day celebrations, and we always had great, great conversations for those, so he will be truly missed here in the city of Norwalk. I also today would like to adjourn our meeting in memory of Juan Contreras Gomez, a beloved husband, father, grandfather, brother, educator, and proud immigrant born November 17, 1958, and passed away on January 22nd, 2026. Juan's life reflects the spirit of Los Angeles County, a region built by immigrants, strengthened by educators, and sustained by family and service. He immigrated to the United States at the age of 17 without yet speaking English. Yet through perseverance, determination, built a life rooted in opportunity, education, and love. A graduate of Linwood High School and Cal State Dominguez Hills, Juan grew up in Linwood in Huntington Park, purchased his first home in Hawaiian Gardens, but then later raised his family here in the city of Norwalk, where he became deeply rooted and respected as a member of our community. For more than 32 years, Juan served Los Angeles County as a devoted elementary and middle school teacher with LAUSD. Teaching primarily Spanish-speaking students, he made it his mission to ensure that every child learned how to read and write, believing that education to be the foundation of opportunity and dignity. Juan was known for his kindness, humility, and gratitude. He lived a grounded life, appreciative of every opportunity and always guided by compassion. Through his quiet leadership and steady example, he left an enduring mark on the families, students, and colleagues he served in Los Angeles. Juan was a living husband, father, and grandfather. He led his family with patience, humility, and example, instilling in his children and grandchildren the same values of kindness, gratitude, and perseverance that guided his life and work. He is survived by his loving wife, Maria Gomez, his 3 children, 3 grandchildren, and 11 brothers and sisters, one of which is our city manager, Mr. Jesus Gomez. Today, the city of Norwalk honors Juan Contreras Gomez for a life of service, both in the classroom, in our city, and in his home. In recognition of his lasting impact in his community and his family, we will also adjourn our meeting tonight. All right, next we will go ahead and move next to Vice Mayor Rios. Margarita?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone, to our council meeting today. Welcome you all and just share a couple of things. So I am wearing red today because of the Chinese Lunar Year, and it's supposed to be good luck. Red represents protection, prosperity, happiness, and good fortune. And it is the year of the fire horse. So I thought that was really very interesting, and I thought I'd kind of partake, given that our community is a very diverse one that we support. And so I wish you all the best during this Lunar New Year, but obviously all of 2026, prosperity, health, happiness, protection to all of you. And last week, I was able to speak to a class at Norwalk High School, a senior class. The teacher, Ms. Valadez, asked me to come and speak to her economics and government club students. So I willingly said yes. I made it fit into my calendar. Always love to go back and speak to our youth. So definitely thank you, Ms. Valadez, for that invitation. And interestingly, some of the, they had very many good questions for me regarding the city, how city runs, city council, and so it was a very, very good good time spent with them. But I just made a note of one of the top 3 things they were most concerned about, and again, this is a group of seniors at Norwalk High. Number 1 was vacant properties and businesses. They wanted to kind of gather more information and understanding on that. Our public safety, they wanted to understand how our Sheriff's Department and public safety works, or how it relates to some of the ICE activity in the city. I assured them that we do not participate or collaborate in any of that. And the third one was housing and affordability, as well as homelessness. So again, it was a really nice dialogue that I was able to have with them, our future leaders. And again, thank you to Ms. Valadez for that. Also, there's so much good things happening in the city of Norwalk. I hope you're all paying attention. I hope that you will follow us on our social media platforms. I hope you keep it positive, knowing that we have an amazing vision, community vision for the city. Its future is very, very bright. Also ask that you stay very safe during this rainy weather. Please drive safely. Know that there are other vehicles on the road with you, as well as pedestrians and bicyclists. So please, please be very, very careful. And Mayor, I also would like to ask that we close and adjourn this meeting in memory of my madrina, godmother, Rogelia de Velez Lozano, who passed away on February 4th. Thank you.
Thank you, Margarita. And you brought up a great point about the rain. So our team has been doing great in getting the potholes filled as soon as we see them or as soon as they're reported. But please note that we're not at every inch of this city at all times. So if you see something, please report it. We have our Norwalk Connects app. The minute you get that in, it's the best way for us to know that something is happening or something's going on so we can get it repaired. On top of the potholes, I'd like to just put something out there in regards to trash cans. I've seen a couple comments from residents where our residents are leaving their trash cans out on the curb all day long after their trash, 2 days after their trash has been picked up. Recently, because of all the rain, now if you have an empty trash barrel and the water comes flowing through the curb and gutter, it's gonna push the barrel all the way down the street. So please, please be mindful as soon as your trash is picked up, put your trash back on your property where it belongs. And Rita, our Director of Public Safety, I'm gonna ask as our team is going out for street sweeping, if we see trash receptacles that are out there, maybe we can stop, do a little door knock, and re-educate our residents to bring them back in on their residence, so that way, if the rain is here, it doesn't take them for a nice swim down the street. I think that would be very helpful, and it'll help keep our entire city nice and clean. So that's my request. So thank you for bringing that up, Margarita. It was on my train of thought, and I missed it right by, so thank you. Clean and safe. Love it. Love it. All right, moving next to Councilmember Ramirez. Rick?
No comments.
Thank you. All right, moving on to our special presentations tonight. The City Council is proclaiming February as Black History Month. Each February, the city recognizes the month of February as Black History Month. It is a time to honor the achievements and lasting contributions of African Americans throughout our nation's history. This month provides an opportunity to reflect on individuals who shaped the social and civic foundation for our country and our community. And in that spirit, we are proud to recognize a featured artist, Brea Holmes. Her work thoughtfully explores storytelling through powerful vision narratives. Drawing from her background in film, television, costume design, and more, her pieces reflect history and artistic excellence. Thank you, Brea Holmes, for sharing your art with the community. Would you please come up to the council to receive your proclamation from our city colleagues and join me for a group photo? Let's give Brea Holmes a round of applause. Now we'll go on to our city manager comments. Mr. Gomez.
Yes, Mayor and members of the City Council, thank you. And to those here are present and those who are watching, the first thing that I want to do is to just give an update on the National Weather Service and what has been reported and what we are doing here in the city. We are currently on flood watch starting at 6 p.m. until tomorrow, 6 a.m. And then a wind advisory as well, 5 p.m. till 6 a.m. And this is when we're expected to have the major downpour for our city here in this area, and the wind advisory. As you know, when the soil gets very, very wet, trees become vulnerable to falling over, and so we want to make sure that we have all of you paying attention and preparing for our next rainstorm here starting soon. Community support and response. Norwalk's Office of Emergency Management continues to monitor conditions with regional partners. Public safety and public services are continuing to respond to necessary road closures and posting of signs where most of the flooding happens. Also, public services continues to conduct storm response with cleanups and filling potholes. If you do see storm drains that have debris, please report them. Any potholes during these rains, we do get more potholes, and we have our crews that are standing by to be able to provide the backfill. Also, we have sandbags that are available for Norwalk residents at Fire Station 20, and that address is 12110 Adori Street, and Fire Station 115, 11317 Alondra Boulevard. Sand is available at the following park locations: at Bob White Park, and the address is 12120 Hoxie Avenue; at Gertis Park, and that is 14700 Gridley Road; Hollyfield Park, 12500 Excelsior Drive; and Norwalk Park across from the Aquatics Pavilion at 12155 Sproul Street. That is where the sand is, and if you have your own sandbags, you can go directly to the parks to fill up the sandbags. And bring your own equipment to be able to fill the sandbags up. So the other information as to how you can stay informed and stay prepared, we have our City of Norwalk social media. We provide updates as things transpire. We also have the norwalk.org updates. And you can also sign up for emergency rave alerts by texting Norwalk to 77295, and you will be provided updates as things, as the storm transpires. And not only for this, but for other activities within the city. And then non-life-threatening neighborhood issues such as potholes can be reported using the free Norwalk Connects app. That concludes that part of the storm watch for us. We have an EOC, and we're continuing to provide updates as they come about. Also, we are continuing to meet with the steering committee for Hermosillo Park, and also the property owners that are adjacent to the fence. And we're also continuing to meet with the community to go over some of the requests that they have and provide them with feedback and mainly what are kind of the costs associated with the request. Next, we have the walk groundbreaking recap video. We want to share this with the community. A project that has been in the works since 2018 that is now underway. And again, excuse the mess, I always say when we have any type of construction. And this project is anticipated to last 2 years. And so the parking structure is one that will be available to all of us for parking. And that is in the immediate surrounding the parking for the courthouse, the jurors, city hall, and visitors, residents who come to visit us. So with that, we can play the video of the walk.
The city of Norwalk celebrated an exciting milestone with the official groundbreaking of the walk, a major step forward in the evolution of the city's entertainment district. Residents and families gathered for a community-focused event that featured a community art project, refreshments, and an inclusive program recognizing the collaboration that made this milestone possible.
For many, many years, residents have shared with us that they want restaurants here in the city of Norwalk. They want entertainment in the city of Norwalk. And we are going to bring them those options with the walk and our partnership with Prime Store.
The event also offered a look ahead. Attendees were invited to board a shuttle and visit a nearby site to tour a model residential unit, providing an early glimpse of the housing component planned for the walk.
In many ways, the walk will serve as Norwalk's shared living room for our community. A place to pause, a place to relax, recharge, and spend time with family.
Careful planning continues behind the scenes to ensure this project respects the significance of its location within Norwalk's Civic Center.
This civic setting holds deep meaning for our community, including the public art and memorials located here. These pieces are being handled with great care and will be thoughtfully placed within the development to honor the rich history we all cherish.
With construction now underway, the project moves from planning into action and represents continued investment in Norwalk's economic vitality and quality of life. The City of Norwalk thanks its project partners, community organizations, and the residents who took part in this milestone through their engagement, collaboration, and continued trust. This groundbreaking marks the beginning of a new chapter, and the community looks ahead to gathering again as the walk continues to take shape.
An exciting groundbreaking for our city and our residents. Next, we have the biweekly update of all the activities that have happened here in the city, and we'd like to share those activities with those who could not be present, but encouraged to participate in our upcoming events. So with that, we can play the video.
On February 2nd, the community came together to celebrate the ribbon cutting of 3 Bayas Hair Salon Incorporated. Surrounded by family and friends, the owners were honored by the city with a certificate of recognition, celebrating 15 years of service and their continued commitment to the community. Creativity took center stage at the Sweet Creations Sugar Cookie Decor event on February 3rd. Residents gathered at the Social Services Center to turn cookies into edible masterpieces. From colorful designs to sweet finishing touches, every bite was enjoyed with a glass of milk. On February 10th, the Norwalk Senior Center celebrated the incredible volunteers and sponsors behind the Angel Project. Thanks to their generosity, this program continues to bring holiday joy to children and families in our community. A huge thank you to all the sponsors, volunteers, and local schools for helping make this possible. Your support truly makes a difference.
Again, great events for our community, and hope you can participate in future events. The last item is the city's effort to provide outreach, counseling, and legal services to Norwalk families impacted by ICE. activity since our last council meeting on February 3rd, 2026. And I have reported out and continue to report out this information for our residents. This morning, Chirla held a Know Your Rights outreach session at the Social Services Center to educate residents about their legal rights and available community resources. The next Chirla outreach session will be on Wednesday, February 24th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Social Services Center. The city encourages families impacted by ICE enforcement activities and homelessness to reach out to the Social Services Department for assistance. The following are calls and or walk-ins that we have received from our last city council meeting. Calls in relation to ICE, we have had 2, walk-ins 0, referrals to legal aid 1, hotline messages 0, and red cards 1. And those red cards are Know Your Rights cards. So we have been requested, and only one person has requested one. With that, that concludes my comments, and look forward to the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesus. Moving next to our consent calendar, we have 9 items. We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Ramirez.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Rios.
Aye.
Mayor Perez.
Aye. Moving on to appointments. Any appointments this evening? All right, thank you. We will now move to our public hearing for ordinance number 26-1767, granting a non-public utility pipeline franchise. We'll officially open the public hearing. Teresa, can we have public notice report, please? Too fast for you.
Sorry about that. Okay, notice of the public hearing was posted on the city's 3 designated posting places and on the city's website on January 23rd. It was also published in the Norwalk Patriot on the same date. We've had no communications.
Thank you very much, Teresa. Jesus, can we have the staff report, please?
Yes, Mayor, members of the City Council, Mr. Albert Mendoza will present.
Yeah, excuse me. Thank you, Jesus. Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. Tonight, I'll be conducting the public hearing, ordinance number 26-1767, granting pipeline franchise, Heraeus Precious Metals. The California Public Utilities Code and the Norwalk Municipal Code requires any person, firm, or corporation utilizing public streets for the conveyance of petroleum or other products to have a valid franchise within the city of Norwalk. In November 2006, City Council granted a pipeline franchise to Heraeus Metal Processing Incorporated. The franchise is set to expire on November 21st, 2021. HMPI has submitted an email letter requesting to continue operation of the franchise. HMPI is as a refiner and recycler of precious metals and also manufactures precious metals containing chemical compounds for the automotive, chemical, and pharmaceutical industries, fabricates precious metal catalysts for nitric acid and fertilizer plants. HMPI also operates approximately 13,550 lineal feet of 6-inch high-density polyurethane, also known as HDPE, wastewater line along Alondra Boulevard from Shoemaker Avenue to Studebaker Road. The HDPE pipe conveys treated wastewater from the HMPI facility in Santa Fe Springs to an LA County Sanitation District sewer trunk line. State law requires and regulates non-public utility water franchise pipelines. State law also establishes the franchise payments, which includes the base granting fee of $7,500 and the base annual fee, which is determined through a formula based on pipeline, internal diameter, pipe length, and fee per lineal foot. Per the Norwalk Municipal Code, Title 13, Article 13, Chapter 13, 20-310 rates. The amount of each base fee specified in subsection C and D of this section shall shall be adjusted at the time is due and the percentage change per the Consumer Price Index. Additionally, the city reserves the right to adjust these base fees established hereunder at any time after the effective date of the ordinance, but the base fee applicable to any of the franchise may only be changed 5 times during the life of the particular franchise. Resolution number 26-11, adopted by the City Council on January 20th, 2026, established the intention to consider granting a franchise to HMPI and set a public hearing date for the matter to be considered. Adoption of this resolution does not create an obligation to grant a franchise. Adoption of Ordinance 26-1767 under consideration grants the proposed pipeline franchise. The city will receive a base granting fee of $7,500 and an annual base payment based on a formula associated with the internal diameter and length of the pipelines and then adjusted for Consumer Price Index. Recommended action, staff recommends City Council introduce by title only Ordinance number 26-1767, an ordinance of the City of Norwalk granting a pipeline franchise to Horizon Metal Processing Incorporated for 15 years ending March 3rd, 2041, and scheduled for adoption. That concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Albert. Teresa, do we have anybody wishing to speak for or against this item?
We do not.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Does anybody, council colleagues, any questions? I'll move it. Can I get a second? Thank you. Can we have a roll call?
Councilmember Ramirez. Vice Mayor Rios.
Aye.
Mayor Perez.
Aye. Thank you. Moving next to item number 12, that's resolution number 2613, our fiscal year mid-year budget review. And Jesus?
Yes, Mayor, members of the City Council, tonight, as is customary every year, we present the mid-year budget for the financial plan for the next 6 months in preparation for the next fiscal year. And today we are presenting a budget that is balanced, one that you'll see has replenished some reserves as you have requested to continue to do some of the projects within our city. And this is, if you can kind of be thinking about the next fiscal year, because we've already started, but this is just a kind of look at mid-year as to where we're going here in the next few months. With that, Ms. Yana Stewart will present.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Mayor Perez, members of the City Council. This is the time of the year where we are going to reflect on how we finished last fiscal year, because that's the beginning starting point for our fiscal year 2026, and see where we are in comparison, what we anticipated during the preparation of fiscal year 26 budget. We will discuss changes that are proposed to be adopted to revise our actual budget, and also we'll be addressing future fiscal challenges that city and the region may be facing, and then timeline for the preparation of the fiscal year 2027 budget. On the slide, I am very proud to mention that our current fiscal year budget has been presented to GFOA, Government Finance Officers Association, for the second time in a row, and we received their award for that document. So we are very proud of that accomplishment. For our prior fiscal year, we ended up fiscal year in a better state than we anticipated in April, May of fiscal year 2025. Our revenues came in 2% over budgetary projections, which it's about 1.4 million. And that's primary to 3 categories: property taxes, minor $200,000 over projections, other taxes and franchises combined total of $800,000, and other departmental revenues about $400,000. On the other hand, also our expenditures came under budget. about 7%. We realized savings of 5.7 million, primarily to personnel costs of 3.3 million, sheriff's contract 1.3, and other expenditures about 1.1 million. So our fund balance is to the better than what we anticipated back in April of last fiscal year. And it's about $3.4 million higher than we anticipated. Now we are moving on to looking at the revenues and our estimates. We were thinking about when we prepared our fiscal year 2026 budget. Actually, we are to the good, and we are adjusting our projections by total of about $2.6 million. The table highlights the major adjustments to various categories. The other very important thing to mention is that we do not need to use our pension stabilization fund to balance our operating budget, which is $650,000. I'm going to address three major revenue sources that general fund receives. Our revenue category number one is, we call it property taxes, but however, those are revenues that we receive and they are derived or based on property values within the city. And so this revenue source has four major components. As you can see in the blue, it's secured taxes, that is former Southeast Recreation Area. We are adjusting that revenue estimate by $91,000 for a total of $4.4 million. We are also known as a no-low property tax, meaning that we get very little portion from property taxes that our property owners pay in our city, and we are adjusting that portion of the revenues by $81,000, only $5.9 million. The very good result for the city was actually the property tax in lieu of VLF that you may remember back in 2005, state borrowed money from sales tax and took our VLF, vehicle license fees, and in return they provided us with this revenue source. And because our property values within the city are rising, we also, that revenue source is also, as you can see on the red part of the slide, is very healthy, and it was going to reach $17.4 million. And that's for sure because we received two allocations from the state and in two same amounts. The other revenue source, which is our second major revenue source, are our sales taxes. And there are two components. As you can see, in fiscal year 2020, we had only one component, which was the regular 1% that every city receives from sales tax. And our voters approved Measure P, which is the local tax and stays within the city, and it's 0.75%. And so both, because we didn't know, and we were pretty conservative, and we estimated our revenues in preparation of the budget, this revenue source is increasing combined of $1.2 million. So these two major revenue categories are healthy, and so far in this fiscal year, growing. However, the sales tax is more not as steady and more volatile comparing to property taxes. The third revenue category that I would like to talk about, it's actually declining comparing to prior fiscal year, and we are adjusting in negative way to $350,000. That's our utility user tax. We see primarily decline in category under electricity. We are collecting UUT on telecommunications, gas, local regular telephone, which is really diminishing, and electricity. The green portion of the chart represents electricity. As to our expenditures, this is a recap of all the changes. So very first column indicates our operating and capital outlays original budget or current budget with minor changes that happened during the fiscal year. It's at the level of $79.4 million. The adjustments that have been requested and are requested to be approved during this meeting total about $1.5 million for operations and capital outlays. That will bring us to $80.9 million operating budget. All the changes within each department have been detailed in Exhibit B and C to the Resolution 26-13. The net personnel changes to general fund are about $560,000. Net operations and maintenance addition of another $581,000, which is important to mention that we are also adjusting some expenditures such as sheriff's contract decreasing by $600,000 and compensating it with additional part-time hours. The reason why is that the full contract cannot be filled with position that we currently have in the contract. Capital outlays increases $365,000. Majority of it is carryover from prior fiscal year. So that's why we ended in better position last fiscal year, because we didn't spend as we anticipated. So all the surplus from prior fiscal year and any other available funding, we recommend that we continue replenishing our capital reserves up to $4 million. So that will combined replenishment for the fiscal year will be about $6.2 million. When we prepared the budget, we did a real minimum, and we just replenished I believe only two of the major reserve funds. I would like to address, in general fund, there are no changes requested to personnel as it relates to full-time positions. However, the additional 10,260 part-time hours are requested to be added to the budget. Majority of those hours, 9,960 hours, are under Public Safety Department. That are primarily initiated by increased security for the city projects, citywide, walk, CYA, so forth, and also enhance security for transportation and in transportation center. Public services and recreation are requesting only the minor changes in their part-time budget. So this is the same information other than showing it by type of expenditures such as personnel or other operations and maintenance. We are showing it by different functions of the city, public safety and so forth. So you may see that community development also has a pretty substantial increase of $921,000 in their operating budget. However, revenues were also increased by over $1 million, and it is due to expenses and revenues that are related to plan check. And so we collect the money for plan check. City keeps 35%, and the rest is paid out to contractor who provides this service. So this slide is very familiar to you. This is how we adopted the budget originally, how we are increasing operating costs to $81 million. Total revised appropriations about $88 million, which will leave us with the fund balance within our fund balance policy of 20% of about $16.5 million at June 30th, 2026. In addition to general fund changes or revisions, departments also requested changes to special revenue funds. All those changes are detailed under Exhibit E to the resolution. I'm just highlighting the most important ones on this slide. Child care revenues and expenditures have to match, so we see also increase in revenues, but there is increase in contract that we will receive. Prop C there is an initiative to repair public safety office that is located at Transportation Metrolink Center. Also, there is an initiative to refurbish entry signs that are to the city, the monument signs, Norwalk. Our sports complex and cultural arts center already has initial money for refurbishing or replacing furniture and sprucing up the, I think it's lobby, and the offices. So additional $270,000 is requested from their reserve fund. And also additional appropriation for City Hall, maintenance repairs, engineering office, and also cultural arts center repairs. There are several changes or revisions under city capital improvement projects. I'm just highlighting the most important ones on this slide. Continuing with rehabilitation of our local streets. Measure W, using funds for our storm drains, which we can see it's very important during this time of the year. And also housing, low moderate income housing fund, additional funding for the economic development project at CYA. This slide also shows us how we are using our capital reserves. So our budget, our actual audited fund balance at the beginning of fiscal year was about $44 million. However, we are planning on spending over $25 million. So if everything gets spent as projected within this fiscal year, we will end up at $25 million, the breakdown of individual reserve funds. So we are moving on to our enterprise funds. Transit is proposing revisions to their operating revenues, primarily to decrease of one-time revenues that we receive for zero emission type of revenue. So that will be decreased to $19.1 million. Operating budget is proposed to increase by $446 million. So there is this fiscal year anticipating use of reserves to cover the operating deficit for transit department. However, they're still working with healthy capital of $10.7 million. One item that I would like to highlight also, that the one change to the full-time positions was requested by the department and is proposed to be included in the fiscal year 26 budget. It's an addition of transportation supervisor, an additional position. And it's detailed under Exhibit C to the resolution. Water fund, same situation. We are proposing increase, in this case, revenues, because it is one-time revenue actually. We receive a settlement that was a nationwide settlement for our water purveyors, and minor adjustment to operating budget by $90,000. Unfortunately, the fund also operates with operating deficit of $362,000. Our sewer fund, no changes to revenues, minor revisions to operations. They are detailed in Exhibit H to the resolution, and slight surplus to help us do the capital improvement projects. So that kind of summarizes the proposed changes to fiscal year 2026 budget. Now we'll be talking about the next steps, what we are dealing with, or we will be dealing with when we will be preparing fiscal year 2027 budget. So overall, this is really something that we spoke about when we prepared the budget. it was the era of uncertainty. We still feel that that era continues. Things are changing very frequently on the federal level. So we received about $34 million in prior fiscal year from federal funding, and prior year in 2024, actually $37 million. So we are watching very closely all the development that is happening on federal level and working with our lobbyists. On California level in our economy, so as you may know, Governor published the 2026-27 budget. His budgeted estimates for revenues were upgraded $42 billion. And even though they were upgraded or increased by $42 billion, they still leave the state with $20 billion difference between revenues and spending. The slide shows and compares in red. Those are estimates from the governor for the deficit. And Legislative Analyst's Office has their analysis that they actually anticipate higher deficits. And I think they also are pinpointing that revenue upgrades have been fueled by AI enthusiasm and are corresponding, and also to any stock market gains that are resulting from this tech bubble, we can say. So these are the slides I really borrowed from a presentation I participated in, which was with Legislative Analyst's Office, and they're explaining like why state is in this situation. When there were good times and revenues were pretty healthy, they committed the revenue streams to ongoing expenditures. So now we are in a state where the deficit is no longer cyclical, but is becoming structural because expenditures are growing much faster than the revenues. And that's the situation we don't want to be in. This is another borrowed slide, we can say, from Beacon's Economics, talking about U.S. economy. Even though its economy seems pretty healthy on the federal level, even though the job market is cooling down, they're making us aware that there may be some imbalances. Some public agencies are experiencing deficits that are becoming structural. And in California, we already talked about it, but also our main problem is housing and shrinking labor force. So now getting it down to our local economy, this slide is demonstrates city of Norwalk and population in the blue column. We have actually, as of 2025, we reported 101,075 population. Per capita revenue or income per capita in our city is about $32,000. And unemployment rate in yellow line is 5.7%, which is pretty good. So the city, it is striving to continue economic development, and we have so many projects going on that will come to fruition and start coming to fruition, but it also means additional housing and population growth, higher demand on city services, and also cost of providing services. Our cost is mainly driven by personnel cost. We are still in labor negotiations, and also we'll talk about this all the time. Our pension and post-employment benefits and unfunded liabilities are also still present in our fiscal reality. This slide is also something that we pretty much try to convert the revenues from millions of dollars to per capita. So on the blue column, we see general fund revenues per capita. So up to those three first columns, that is prior fiscal years, then budget year 2026 with the arrow. So we can see that revenues and expenditures per capita start lagging going forward. So our efforts to bring in new development and boost the assessed valuation of property values will help us to continue and providing services and assuring that we have revenues to provide them. When we talk about unfunded liabilities, there are two major problems or challenges that we are not unique. Every other agency is facing them. It's pension cost, and this slide shows that city per last financial report, our funded ratio of unfunded liabilities for pension was 75.6%. And the slide or chart that you can see, that's also from PERS report, shows how successful they were in their investment earnings. And they have a goal or a benchmark which they are supposed to reach that have been declining since 2005 from 7.75%. Now it's 6.8%. So that's the goal they're giving themselves to reach the rate of return on investment. So there are years, and you can see this is where it fluctuates from year to year. 3 years ago, they were in minus. 2 years ago, they didn't reach the 6.8 target. They were at 5.8. And this year, they were at 2024, they were at 9.3%. Why is this important? This is important because if CalPERS doesn't reach their the threshold or the rate of return of 6.8%, that means that, as you can see, this CalPERS buck, that means investment earnings are shrinking, and the portion that the employer or employee, the members, have to contribute has to increase. And that's how the PERS determines how much every agency has to contribute to the pension fund. So the numbers for fiscal year 2026 are pretty much, those are the numbers for the city. Our unfunded actual liability payment that's obligated, we are obligated to pay is about $5.7 million. In addition to the percentage of the salary, which is 11.32%. So combined percentage or cost to the city is 35.83%. As you can see, because there have been losses and they need to be recouped, there is a lag of about 2 years. Then our difficult year will be 28-29, where this contribution will go up to 37.8%. Unfunded liability will be about 6.6%. The other portion of unfunded liabilities are our post-employment benefits, which is the medical benefit for the city. And you may recall, so I just want to highlight, we have 213 retirees that we pay medical benefit for, and 304 eligible full-time positions within the city. Back in 2015, we, as a city, we established the OPEB Trust Fund because we didn't put any money aside for the promise that we are giving to our employees that they will have medical benefit later on. So since 2015, as you can see, the ratio of OPEB liability or funded ratio is, we are working towards the better numbers. In 2020 or 2015, it was 0 in a way. 2019, 21%, and now in 2025, we were at 50% funded. So we are working towards securing this benefit for our future retirees. So we are, with all of this said, we are committed as a city to be fiscally responsible and prudent. We do not, we strive to have structurally balanced budgets and sustainable spending. And in the upcoming fiscal year, we will be looking at what are our core services and special programs, and also how we manage our resources. We actually already started preparing for the upcoming fiscal year budget. Our department already submitted or distributed budget worksheets and the documentation to our departments. And this is the tentative schedule. Hopefully, we will present to City Council during our council study session right after Memorial Day. That may be our first study session, and then as many as needed to come up with the balanced, structurally balanced budget for fiscal year 2027. So that really concludes my report. And if I'm here with my colleagues to answer any questions you may have. And also, we are recommending that the City Council adopt resolution number 26-13, authorizing amendments to the fiscal year 25-26 budget as detailed in resolution exhibits A through H. Thank you.
Thank you, Yana. And before I open it up to questions or comments from my colleagues, I just want to say once again, congratulations on receiving the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award. I know you guys did a lot of changes last year to the way that the budget was presented and the overall budget book, and compared it right back to all of our strategic goals. Jennifer, you did a great job back there. I see you sitting in the seats there. I think it's definitely much easier to read and follow, not only for us up here, but for our residents that want to actually go online and view our budget. Rick, Margarita, any questions or comments on the mid-year budget? Right, I'm going to make a motion to move this item. We have a first and a second. Teresa, can we have the roll call?
Councilmember Ramirez.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Rios.
Aye.
Mayor Perez.
Aye. Thank you. Moving on to oral communications. Our first speaker is Kylie. Following Kylie, I believe it's Irma. And as a reminder to all of our guests and residents wishing to speak today, you have a 3-minute time. Go right ahead.
Good evening. I was able to listen to the opening comments, and Rio, so I see stepped away. But when she was talking about that, she wanted to talk to the high schoolers and get their feedback on what's happening in the city. And as I was listening to that, I was thinking how great it is to get feedback from the community and especially our youth. And it also made me realize that their main concerns that they brought up, affordable housing, empty lots, and ICE, are very similar to the general public's concerns. When it comes to empty lots, I've talked to many community members, read lots of online comments on your social media posts, and I can say that I don't know that anyone is happy about you guys taking away green space right here for the walk and adding in concrete when there's already so much concrete and empty lots in the city, like the high schoolers mentioned. The other fact they mentioned about public safety and ICE brought up a really good point that after over 7 months of this, of ICE in our cities, people still aren't clear about Norwalk's stance when it comes to immigration and ICE, and if the council members support what is happening in our cities. I was able to watch the Long Beach City Council meeting 2 weeks ago, and the Long Beach mayor said in that meeting, the only way to stop what is happening with ICE is by protests and by cities making a public statement and putting pressure on the federal government. That is a very stark contrast from you all sitting up there saying you have no power as a city council and your refusal to put out any kind of statement regarding your stance. When I hear from community members and see you not listening to your community, it makes me wonder why you even ran for city council, why you're even sitting up there. Is it to have some power over people? Is it for your ego? Or is it to actually help people? Because from where we, the people, are seated, it is definitely not the latter. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Irma. Following Irma is Sam Lino.
So racism, hatred, and greed is currently what's leading our country. It's similar to what fueled Germany in the 1930s. And when history looks back and teaches about what happened when the Nazis terrorized the world, with not just their racism, but their evil and their cruelty, history says there were 5 different types of people. There were perpetrators who helped evil hurt others. There were bystanders who did nothing and claimed neutrality. There were upstanders, those who spoke up, who did things to help the oppressed, be it small acts of kindness. And then there's the resistors and the rescuers, the bravest of them all. Heroes who put their skin, their lives on the line to help others. ICE is our modern day Nazi force. Armed with guns and racism, they have terrorized the most vulnerable of us. And the Norwalk City Council, as of now, has done nothing, said nothing to stand up to them. Being a bystander would be an accurate description of what you've done so far to stop ICE. But that's generous. Desmond Tutu, who fought apartheid South Africa, said, "Those who are neutral in the face of injustice have sided with the oppressor." If history looks back on this city council at this moment, what would it say? I have 1 minute and 25 seconds left to speak up here, and I'd like to spend that time in silence, which is what you guys have done, and it speaks very loudly. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is San Lino. And following is Lorena Lopez.
Good evening, and I thank you all for your time. I stand here and speak in some greater spirits than last I was. I came to bring strong commendations and applause to city councilors, specifically those of Montebello, Pico Rivera, Long Beach, Whittier, Downey, and Huntington Park. I applaud and commend them for their understanding that they can stand against terror in their streets, and that they can subsequently act to help their fellow citizens during the ongoing assaults of terrorist agencies in their midst. Any of those not mentioned at this time will receive my condemnation for their lackluster actions or seeming inaction to put pen to paper, to use a turn of phrase. I'll take my time remaining to let all present to think about what could and must be done by any unnamed cities. Once again, I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Lorena. And following Lorena, Anthony Taveras.
Hi, Council. Can you hear me? I'm here on behalf of Hermosillo community. We oppose artificial turf put in our park. Our park is already demolished. You've already bulldozed everything. Our park, our basketball courts are gone. Our handball courts are gone. Every tree is gone, even though you promised to save a few, to try to save a few. But now you intend to put artificial turf can reach up to 160 degrees, causing burns in seconds, containing forever chemicals, lead and arsenic. You also plan to rent this out to soccer fields, soccer leagues, and you intend to take 2 to 3 years. Weird because the walk is going to take 2 years, smaller, but you guys don't seem to care much. This is environmental racism. Mount Sinai Children's Environment Health Center strongly discourages artificial turf installation due to dangerous heat and chemical exposure. Boston has banned it, Westport, Connecticut banned it, but yet you intend to install it in our low-income, disadvantaged neighborhood. This is environmental racism. Wealthy communities protect their children from it, yet you intend to expose it to ours. This also violates the grant obligation. You've received Proposition 68 money to create healthy parks for disadvantaged communities. Installing turf that contains carcinogens is not healthy. You've received Measure W for environmental protection. Turf that pollutes water, microplastic harms the environment. You are misusing, putting the council on notice that we'll be at every meeting until this gets fixed. I'm requesting that Hermosillo be put on the agenda for the next meeting. And I filed public record requests for all grant applications, compliance reports, and design. So the choice is yours. You can work with the community to install natural grass, include our basketball courts and our handball courts in phase 1, and build a park that we can actually use, like the one we have. Or force it through and install toxic turf and face organized opposition at every meeting, compliance investigation, and media scrutiny. But this community will not be silent.
Thank you. Anthony is the last speaker tonight.
Five 562-416-3311. That is my phone number because every time I'm up here, I always get retaliation. The last time I was out here, I get a citation from city council, no, from public safety, citations, ordinance, and even a threat from city council. My family's life was endangered by a comment done by one of the city council members due to the fact that I'm protesting against this project of the park. I'm all down for the park, but what I disagree on is the fields. They are hazardous. We really don't want them. There's the synthetic fields. We already have some with the successful business off of Firestone, USA 5, for the last 10 years. They're mid-side courts. There's 10 of them, and it's owned by a company in France. And the only location that they would rather open up was in the city of Norwalk 10 years ago. They got a contract for another 20 years signed by Vernola, rest in peace. So if anything with soccer, we have our own soccer, we have our own, in our own location, our own plans and our own agendas, what we want to do. Now, if it's synthetic, those are the midway fields. We already have that. The Norwalk Lamar School Districts already has the soccer monopolized. That's them. That's okay. Let them run with that. But what we want in our community is regular grass, regular field, what we request, a handball courts, a water park, and just work with the community. That's it, you know? Second thing that I want to speak on is behalf of, I didn't know we were speaking about ICE, but it is true. We can't stay silent. Did you guys not know in the 80s and the 90s, they built 23 to 25 prisons, CDC, and it was tag them and send them out. We had 95, 98 conviction rates in the Norwalk courthouse here. Guilty or not, send them out. And that's the same thing that's happening and taking place right now. Tag them, snatch them up, send them out, let the prison industries and the private industries make their finances. I know we're all stuck in a harsh situation. This is a federal thing, we get that. But also, it's right what that young lady said, City Council. We voted you guys in. Can you guys stand up and be the voice for us? Thank you so much.
Thank you. I will make a comment just to let the residents know, the comment by our city manager at the beginning of the meeting. He is meeting with our steering committee in regards to Hermosillo Park, and I do know that he is going to be bringing that back to a presentation to council in the very near future. So just know that that will be on our agenda very soon. With that,
I wanted to add.
sure.
Mayor, I just wanted to add something to that. I know that in my conversations with staff, we do anticipate that Hermosillo Park is going to be on the agenda. I would be interested in knowing and hearing a little bit more about the artificial turf and any environmental implications, if any, just as a information for us to have more information that we can share with the community, or the community can also get informed. Copy that, Ellen? Thanks.
Thank you. And tonight we will adjourn our meeting in the honor and memory of our 3 residents and family members. This meeting is adjourned.